If I may have your attention, please, I'd like to welcome you to the newest installment of Modern Saviors, where we study superhero mythology and contemporary legends. So without further ado, Modern Saviors presents the Brilliance of BVS, the gods hurl thunderbolts. My own quill becomes a thunderbolt when I write these essays, equivalent to that of Zeus dispatching Typhon back to Tartarus with the swift hurling of his thunderbolt, consistent with the mighty Thor or Jupiter defending their realms from giants, conjuring the energy of the Vajra, which Indra used to slay the violent Vitra, paralleling the power of the Slavic Perun when seeking the serpent of Vales, striking the ground with his thunderbolt to cast out evil. When God hurls a thunderbolt, his will be done.
Say, Jesus, show me some lightning.
Jesus, show me some lightning.
Dude, that was amazing. Say, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus.
And he's saying thank you back.
Coming into the second act of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, Lex Luthor thinks through his worsening madness as he delivers a speech to his party guest. Only he knows that the Superman stands before him, blending in perfectly with his momentary audience. Lex falters under his frustrations during his speech because he cannot fathom how he can have all this knowledge without power. He longs for the power he once had before the emergence of the invulnerable. He hints at his own desires for Superman's demise when he tells the story of Prometheus. He states that
between gods and men, Prometheus went with us, and he ruined Zeus's plan to destroy mankind, and for that he was given a thunderbolt. True! That seems unfair.
this alludes to Lex's own view of himself in this film, while he wishes to be Zeus, striking down Superman's Prometheus for ruining his plan. Prometheus interfered with the will of his supreme deity, and for that he was met with the energized manifestation of that deity's will. In Alfred's introductory scene, we witness a conversation between him and Bruce on Batman's worsening brutalization. Bruce shrugs off Alfred's warnings in a lazily attempt to justify his increasing harshness with criminals and the mercenaries involved in the kryptonite transport. Bruce tries to tell Alfred that nothing has changed. However, after witnessing the devastation of Central Metropolis during the Black Zero event, Alfred assures Bruce that in fact, everything has changed. Alfred ominously tells Bruce that
everything's changed. Men fall from the sky. The gods hurl thunderbolts. Innocents die. That's how it starts. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel.
Throughout the explosive excitement of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, its predecessor, and its culture-shifting sequel, we witness godlike beings perform incredible displays of power and heroism. In this film, we witness the power of the Superman like never before. We witness him display unfathomable feats of strength, withstand the toxicity of kryptonite, and shrug off a direct hit from a nuclear blast. We also witness him ignite his unrelenting heat vision in the direction of his enemies. In that culture-shifting sequel, Zack Snyder's Justice League, a legendary battle taking place 5,000 years prior, is described to us by the lovely Diana Prince. She tells a tale of how the threat they're facing is seeking his revenge due to losing that battle. As Darkseid descended upon Earth, he was met by Atlanteans, Amazons, and the fighting men of the world. Diana describes how protectors from the stars and the gods of ancient times joined them on the battlefield. Artemis launched spirited arrows directly into Darkseid's chest. Ares delivered a staggering axe blow from above, while Zeus struck him with an unstoppable surge of electric power. Here we have yet another instance of the local player wearing the local costume and reenacting the same play from an older mythology. As we covered in the Brilliance of BVS, The Descent from the Cross, Joseph Campbell explains that the figures of newer mythologies take on the same roles as figures from older mythologies, and that their connections are primarily attributable through the use of the same imagery. Campbell specifically states that whether I'm reading Polynesian, Iroquois, or Egyptian myths, the images are the same, and they are talking about the problems. It's as though the same play were taken from one place to another, and at each place, the local players put on the local costumes and enacted the same old play. Although they are both enveloped within the DC universe, to portray what is being symbolized here, we will consider Zeus to be Greek and Superman to be American. In Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition, we witness a shot with the camera positioned behind Superman and pointed in the same direction that his scorching heat vision is firing in. In the following epic, Zack Snyder's Justice League, we witness 4 hours worth of quintessential DC storytelling. But there is one shot that is almost the same as the Superman one in the previous film. During Earth's effort to drive Darkseid back to the stars, the mighty Zeus conjures lightning from his hands and launches the current at the destroyer. The camera is positioned from the same angle that we see in BVS, just on the other side. What we observe through the parallel of Superman displaying the same power of Zeus through the same imagery is the positioning of Superman as the supreme deity of American mythology, just like Zeus before him. We are left awestruck by witnessing both gods hurl thunderbolts. But wait, Superman has heat vision and Zeus has lightning. How are they both thunderbolts? Let's consider what a thunderbolt is, because a magical staff with electric powers is too rudimentary of an explanation of this mythological symbol. In Joseph Campbell's magnum opus, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, he describes a thunderbolt as one of the major symbols signifying the spiritual power of indestructible enlightenment, which shatters the illusory realities of the world. He continues to explain that a thunderbolt is a symbol found throughout nearly every mythology, religion, or belief system. According to Campbell, a thunderbolt is prominent in Buddhism, ubiquitous in Mesopotamian belief systems, and was eventually inherited by Zeus. Campbell continues to explain that the warriors of these and other cultures often referred to their own weapons as thunderbolts, and through their wielding of it, saw themselves as an agent of the divine will. The warriors considered their actions to be the will of their god, and their weapon as an extension of themselves. Their weapon, be it spear or sword, served as their instrument of inflicting the intentions of their idols. A thunderbolt. These thunderbolt-wielding warriors are known as the threshold guardians of their cultures. As we see in the picture of Japanese sculptures provided by Campbell, Their purpose is to ward away all incapable of encountering the higher silence within. The higher silence, he mentions, refers to the unique enlightenment of that culture that the Guardians are protecting. It also refers to the oncomers' inability to assimilate into the strict practices and traditions that bring those of that culture closer to their god. From my understanding, it seems that Campbell is describing a thunderbolt as the direct energy of a god's will weaponized in the form of a projectile. It is the power or ability to ward off attackers through the energy of your own enlightenment. Therefore, whoever is capable of hurling a thunderbolt is extending God's or a god's will to smite the uninitiated, the undesired, and especially the undermining. This is how Alfred's line connects Zeus and Superman in these monumental DC films. The energy from Zeus's lightning and from Superman's heat vision is directed at an invader that means to bring about the total destruction of the world they are defending, and therefore total destruction to God's will. The idol carries his own instrument to inflict his ideals, the warrior's weapon. Zeus's lightning and Superman's heat vision are an extension of themselves. Zeus uses the power of the divine will to defend Earth from its downfall to Darkseid in the days of his worship. In the present day, Superman hurls his thunderbolt because it is the desire of his will to defend Earth from its damnation due to the devastation of Doomsday. You are witnessing the supreme deity of their respective mythologies warding off the greatest evil due to the manifestation of their benevolence as a projectile of pure energy. So let's take this a step further, shall we? The divine energy that Zeus and Superman wield are the same. It is the same manifestation of God's will that repels evil, protects the world from its darker sides, and prevents humanity's doomsday. The energy emitted from the lightning and lasers originates from the same source of the highest good. They are directly manifesting God's ubiquity. Campbell explains later in The Hero with 1,000 Faces that we know through the Hebrew mythology of Yahweh, whom the traits of two gods are united, Yahweh a storm god and El a solar. It is obvious in the character of Zeus as well as in the thunderbolt. The meaning is that the grace that pours into the universe through the sun door is the same as the energy of the bolt that annihilates and is itself indestructible. The delusion-shattering light of the imperishable is the same as the light that creates. Or again, in terms of a secondary polarity of nature, the fire blazing in the sun glows also in the fertilizing storm. The energy behind the elemental pairs of opposites, fire and water, is one and the same. This insight here allows us to strengthen the comparisons we have already made and establish further connection. Zeus, in the Greek context, is able to manifest the storm energy of the one true God through his own thunderbolts to protect the world from the manifestation of Satan or Hades. The culture-shaping film Zack Snyder's Justice League allows us to witness the storm energy of God, repel those who mean us harm. Superman's birth name, Kal-El, is indicative of his relation to the Father as an angel that was created in his image. Darkseid himself confirms this in Superman Up in the Sky #5, when he narrates Superman's fight across Apokolips to meet him with, "Seeking answers, the angel fought the demons found there. He fought and sweat and bled, but they told him nothing. And so at last, he came to the devil." Superman is often perceived as an angel throughout his comics and films. It is not a coincidence that his family name is the same as God's mighty angels that guard heaven, such as Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael. As the solar god entity of American mythology, Superman represents the solar energy of El. Besides existing as a living solar battery, you see his representation of the blazing sun in his thunderbolt. Albeit Zeus's is more straightforward, Kal-El is transforming the absorbed solar energy of God into a directed inferno. Zeus conjures the storm energy of God, and Superman manifests the solar. Both energies are invoked and materialized by the deity in order to weaponize the delusion-shattering light of the imperishable against misguided agents of Satan who intend to bring harm to the world. When the gods hurl thunderbolts, evil perishes against the light of the Almighty. So that will conclude our study here tonight of how a thunderbolt is relevant throughout these monumental DC films and what exactly that means in the context of the greater human mythology. I hope I was able to give you some insight as to what a thunderbolt actually is. It's the energized will of God manifested as a projectile. So as always here at Modern Saviors, we hope you learned something, and we hope you will subscribe to the channel here. I wouldn't want you to miss out on the glory from the battles ahead. So with that being said, I'd like to say thank you and good night.